Hey, ever wanted to watch a bunch of middle-aged men jerk off to VR porn? Well, here's Catalina's movie of the year of 2005, Cute Enough to Eat. Cute Enough to Eat has nothing to do with vor. Instead, it centers around virtual reality headsets and the dangers of technology. In many ways, it's like Black Mirror, but it leaves me feeling slightly less depressed.
Wow, man, he's exactly like I described my fantasy man to be. This website's a trap.
Considering this came out in 2005, I'd almost say it's ahead of its time. Sure, VR wasn't a new concept by any means. The Virtual Boy was already 10 years old when this came out. But using VR for sex? Now that's forward thinking.
Yeah, that was a really hot load.
But, is Cute Enough to Eat good enough to watch? Well, that's why I'm here, isn't it? Because for some reason this is just what I do now. The first thing that happens is a very long scene of a guy going into the virtual world. This of course is excellent exposition to show us, the viewers, how the virtual reality in this movie works. Would you like a trip today? Nah, he just logged in to watch the fucking Earth spin. It's what really gets him off. You gotta give props to all the very specific choices you can make in this game. But man, that user interface really lets this whole thing down. Why do you gotta type your entire fucking life story into this game in order to play it? Seems a bit inconvenient if you ask me. Then again, I'm the impatient type, so maybe this thing isn't for me. For the actual VR headset, or cheap-ass glasses, it's called the Macrovision. And unlike the clunky HTC Vive, the Macrovision is wireless and super light, so you won't trip over all the goddamn wires all the time. Then again, the Macrovision paralyzes your entire body, so that wouldn't actually be that big of an issue anyway. But what's with the tiny red laser holes? Do you just burn the gaze straight into your retinas? I heard masturbation made you blind, but I think the Macrovision is the real culprit here. The loading screens look like they might give you seizures though. No, really, if you have epilepsy, don't watch this movie, it's quite bad actually. The trip finally starts and, well, it's a Catalina film. The trip speaks for itself. So that was quite the experience. And it only cost $200 fucking dollars. Couldn't buy a new t-shirt for all that money? Cue another trip where there's an oldish bearded guy and a garden boy.
Hey, how are things going out here?
Alright, I guess, but I'm just about ready for a break.
I'll bet you are. Can I get you something to drink or eat?
My first and only choice is what's in those pants of yours.
Some glitchy shit starts to happen.
You thought up of this scenario.
Almost as if it's foreshadowing something. But hey, sex, who cares?
Yeah, that was a really hot load.
Pause!
Whew, now that was a good trip. Better call my friend Steve and tell him about it.
Hello?
You wouldn't believe the trip I just took.
Nathan, why are you wasting your time and money on that stupid website?
Steve doesn't seem convinced of all this VR nonsense, but he gets himself talked into it, and Steve's friend invites him over, even though he's heading off to work real soon. The plot then takes a couple of detours to show other people and their trips, but we don't really care about that now, do we? Because we're all here to see Steve Rэмbo. Steve arrives at his friend's house, who's at work, but since Steve is a jobless failure in this film, this is how he spends his days.
Okay, let's see if this is worth coming over in this fucking storm.
Oh, you're back. Don't disappear again. When my cock is ready for a hole, it's ready for a hole.
What? Just like that? No lead-in storyline?
That's refreshing. Somebody else who watches the shit for the plot.
realistic. Nathan, is that you? Back already?
Oh my god. So somehow Steve ended up in another man's trip? A man they could not afford to give a microphone, so you can barely hear what he's saying.
Now who the fuck are you?
Who am I? Who the fuck are you?
He tells Steve to fuck off so he can watch two dudes go at it.
Tell me what you want us to do.
I'm not gonna kink shame here, but you could have chosen something a bit more interactive for your VR experience, especially since it's so expensive. Whatever, man.
Son of a bitch, something is definitely wrong here.
Now this is where things get real interesting for me. This film in many ways reminds me of Twin Peaks. Without going into too many spoilers, there's some strange parallels between Twin Peaks and Cute Enough to Eat. Speaking of Twin Peaks, did you know there's a gay porn parody called Twink Peaks?
I think I already know more than I want to.
At first glance, Twink Peaks was nothing but a soulless, plotless cash grab with a good name. All I saw was some dudes fucking in a wooden hotel room for about an hour. But I can admit when I'm wrong, cause after doing some more research, I found out that there is something that resembles a plot here.
Damn, that's fine.
The plot is, two dudes are out in the woods. Then they go to a hotel room to fuck. The guy called Laurel, yes, the man who has the typical man named Laurel, figures he'll go running in the woods. Without his boyfriend, I don't know, gay Bobby Briggs, and he just leaves him there in the bed. And just to make things confusing, we cut from Laurel running in the dark woods to another guy running in the dark woods. He arrives at the very legit mini-guitar player Jimmy's place, who, unlike James, is never going to be cool.
Robert, what are you doing here? If anybody saw you, I mean...
Listen, Jimmy, don't worry about it. Laurel's out with his family.
Oh, the guy's Laurel's boyfriend, Robert. How could I forget? So James and Bobby go to the bedroom and do the dirty, because of course. We then cut back to Laurel again, just in time for him to be killed by a log and a stock sound effect. He's then wrapped in plastic because Twink peeks and the FBI shows up.
It's Laurel. He was so young.
Have you looked in a mirror? You get the gist. Some mild plot happens and then they all fuck. Also Harry, or whatever the sheriff is called here, looks like he's 15. And Special Agent barely resembles our boy Coop. The movie then ends with Laurel coming back to life, having an orgy, and then disappearing again.
I've got that cum you love.
Wow. I mean, they captured the spirit of Twin Peaks real good there. There's also some bad attempts at referencing the original show like, I have that cum you like. Why not go with that cum you like is going to come back in style? Guess that's almost a line from Twin Peaks. Shut up, phone. Twink Peaks is kind of a big disappointment. It's very evident that Catalina did not make this film. They would have put too much effort into it with actors who can barely act, and it would have been amazing. But this is just a pile of cum and mediocrity. Don't watch Twink Peaks. But this was a review of Cute Enough to Eat, so let's get back on track.
Exit. Son of a bitch. Nathan, I'm gonna wring your neck for this.
Steve thinks he's finally escaped, but he's still trapped in the VR world. Good old Santa Claus gave that away. But I don't see how plugging out the power in the virtual world will affect the real world.
Well, we'll just see about that.
That doesn't make any sense, Steve. But I guess it's just that good of an actor, so it just works. Sure.
There, now I've had the last word. I've set things straight. A computer's no match for a human.
Cute Enough to Eat is close to being a masterpiece, but there are some problems here. Mostly that there's no central plot, so a lot of the screen time is just wasted on pointless characters taking trips. But after Night of the Living Dolls, anything's an improvement. And of course Steve Rэмbо just makes it all worth it. Just look at him. He's great.